They did Kai so dirty. If you don't know, they just revealed Kai's Fortnite skin, like officially, like Vincent Tong is the one who did it. And it looks so bad. Why did they take my man's drip away? I don't want to only complain, so I'm gonna start off with what I actually like about it. First off, the face model, I think that looks amazing for Kai, at least from what we can see of it. I know we can't see much, but from what we can see, I think that's a pretty good human representation of Kai. Along with that, the emblem, I mean, that's the bare minimum. They just kind of have to copy and paste the design. Obviously, I would have preferred the original emblem, but I understand why they went with the lettering so that way all the ninja can feel like a unit. I think that's fine. I also really like how they handle the shoulder pads. Shoulder pads in Ninjago never really actually made sense, and I think this is a really good translation on Fortnite's part, and I'm glad it's here. Along with that, the boots are really good. Because Lego refuses to print on the bottom part of the leg, it's always really interesting to see how someone would translate the Ninjago boots into real life, and I think on Kai, it was completely spot on. I love the extra detail they add without pulling a Marvel and just shoving way too much in there or trying to make it look very generically ninja. Don't get me wrong, I wish they were like dark red, but they still look good. Now I'm gonna complain. Very few design aspects taken from Ninjago, and what they do take, they translate pretty horribly. You'll understand what I mean if you look at the robes or the mask. Speaking of the mask, what is that? It's like they wanted to have the modern headband with the hair showing, but also wanted to have the season 11 mask, and they don't mesh very well. Not only that, his hair is really realistic. Like, they wanted to give him spiky brown hair, but didn't want to give him his spiky brown hair. In general, this design is trying way too hard to be realistic, which I think is a real shame. But that mask is so atrocious. I don't mind the mask being smoothed out because, you know, now that we're on a human, the mask doesn't have to be so thick, but that bit at the top is really distracting. Along with that, the robes, they feel pretty boring. They look like they're trying to kind of be pretty generic ninja type robes, almost Ninjago-esque type robes, but there's just no detail. One thing this outfit really needs is just some dark red. Dark red on the headband, dark red at the ends of the robes, something. It's all one solid red color. And him being sleeveless? Why? You can't say it's because he's the fire ninja and his arms need to be exposed, because his arms are covered in wraps, which, trust me, I will get into in a second. So he doesn't have a robe that has its sleeves torn off. He just has the vest part of the robe on, and then this golden trim on the sides? Huh? Two things I predicted in that other video were that he was going to have a lot of gold and that his design was going to have a lot of sharp details and they were going to want to translate that he's a hothead. So I guess that's what that's supposed to be, but it looks like he tore his sleeves off and painted the trims. Then there's all the brown. I really don't like the brown. I think that's another example of them trying too hard to make this design work in real life. I do like all of the circular rings that the straps tie onto. That is a common design aspect in Ninjago, but it's also a common ninja design. The wrapping on the sides, like on his torso, I don't really mind that. As long as too much of it isn't showing from the back, that doesn't really bother me. And then his arms. Doesn't make any sense for Kai to be sleeveless. That has never been an aspect of his character. The only ninja that should be consistently seamless is Cole. You could say they're making a reference to Tournament of Elements because, you know, that's Kai's season. Like, we could get into the debate of that being Kai's season or not all you want, but the only time Kai has been predominantly sleeveless is when all of the ninja are sleeveless. And the wraps, because they pretty much never print on Ninjago arms, it's really difficult to try and translate what the Ninjago arms are supposed to look like in human form. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think they made Lloyd sleeveless in the anime episode, so they might be doing something like that where they just assume they should be sleeveless, but I do think it's indicative of how horribly they approached redesigning these characters. Very similarly, the wraps on the arms. What is this, Sonic Boom? Why does he have wraps on the arms? No rhyme, no reason. I understand why there would be wraps on the forearms. Again, that's a pretty generic ninja design aspect. But on all of his arm? The ninja definitely have those wraps on their outfits from time to time, but not on the arms, especially not when you're sleeveless. That does not bode well for Cole's design. And then the legs, they aren't anything to write home about, but I didn't expect them to put any effort into the legs. He does have a pocket, which seems to be nice. I mean, the ninja, ironically, the ninja aren't supposed to have pockets, as Kai himself said in season 5.
And we don't even have pockets!
Oh my word, I had that reference on deck. I need to go outside. It's very obvious that they tried to make the ninja realistic and didn't put anywhere near enough effort into actually making the ninja look like the ninja. Don't get me wrong, if this design sucked, but I could at least tell it was an amalgamation of his designs, I wouldn't complain nearly as much. But it seems like they took like one look at Kai and were like, all right, what if we did this? but made it worse. And I'm imagining the rest of the ninja are following suit, unfortunately. Thankfully, this one is free. Apparently, it's going to be in the Lego Pass, so if you have Fortnite Crew, it'll be free. I don't have faith for the rest of the designs. And hopefully, though, the rest of his set, like maybe his sword, I don't know if he'll have any other cosmetics in the set. Hopefully, they'll be good, and we'll kind of save it a little bit, but I don't have much hope. Of course, let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments, but that's all I had to say about it.